It's rare that I do a video on a first look of anything when you can't drive it. So to be completely transparent, these cars are not leaving here for this part of the video. We're going to show you everything about the new Civic Hatchback. This is a big deal to me because it represents something that is affordable, completely usable, well-designed, and it's not an SUV or CUV. So let's start taking a look at this. The big topic of conversation is the exterior of both of these cars. They've been evolved, and when I say evolved, it's a good thing for once. The front of the hatch is a little bit different. You can see the honeycomb grille design is altered, there's more airflow there, and the rear end has also been changed. You have this light bar that runs across the back, whereas the sedan does not have that. Again, these are little subtleties you're going to notice when you go to look at this car in person. It's going to be up to you to decide which looks better. But again, overall, both of these cars carry a more sophisticated feel and look, which most of the potential older demographic will also appreciate. This is my first time in the 11th generation Civic. This happens to be the hatchback, and luckily, they're the same, the sedan and the hatch. The interior space has this great feel and look. I'm gonna go over some of the functionality of each individual part of the car, starting with the dashboard area. When you look in front of you, this is more akin to what Honda did in the 6th and 7th generation Civic. And while that was eons ago, what made those cars great was everything had a purpose. And the new car kind of takes you back to an era of cleanliness and simplicity. The honeycomb design along the center dashboard follows some of the exterior design. It looks great. The vent control feels high quality. The knobs, buttons, and switches, at least for the HVAC controls, kind of follows what Mazda did with the new Mazda 3. That concept of not everything had to feel super cheap. It has a really high quality to everything that you touch and interact with. When you get to the steering wheel, that you can see they've corrected some of the things they did with the previous generation. They ditched the concept of touch swiping for volume, and now everything is back to physical controls. And while the gauge cluster now is digital and the screen is digital, they still have kept it simple enough where it's not overwhelming you with a bunch of information. The infotainment, however, and I understand that this is a pre-production car that I'm in, when this car turns on and boots up, it is so slow to respond. Now, Honda has implemented over-the-air updates because these cars are now connected through telematics, so they will be able to push out updates to hopefully fix some of the lagginess that I found just playing with this for like 3 minutes. Now, everything else in terms of storage, the armrest area, the cup holder design, everything is super clean. The wireless charger's in a great place where you can get your phone in and out of there. The USB ports are extremely accessible and they're not by a cup holder, so if you spill something, it's not going to short something out. The seats are extremely comfortable and well padded in here, and I think what you're getting in the Civic overall is a highly functional space that feels higher end, and it still gives you the usability of cars past. The last thing to talk about is trim levels for the hatchback. You have an LX and a Sport, both get a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine. However, the Sport gets an optional 6-speed manual. The EXL and Sport Touring get the 1.5-liter turbo. However, the Sport Touring also gets an optional 6-speed manual, but a CVT is the standard option for all the cars. This is what you came for. The hatch. Lynn from Honda was trying to tell me what the cubic feet were, and I didn't care, because as soon as you saw this, it was clear to me that this is one of the most enormous hatchback cars in existence. It outperforms or outspaces that of the Veloster hatch, the GTI, and of course, Mazda 3 hatchback. This has almost CUV levels of cargo capacity, and the better part of that is you still have back seat room. With the seat all the way back, the driver's seat all the way back, you still have enough leg room for a normal adult to sit back there. And I think this is the biggest selling point of this for people that are tired of that CUV segment, the compromise segment of those cars. This brings back the driving feel, the look of a regular car with all the practicality of some of the modern crossovers. The big takeaway of the new Civic Hatch is its level of refinement, and I know that's an overused word. Compared to the previous generation, one of the big complaints was its styling was polarizing. They have address that here. It looks like a much more normal car, something that won't detract maybe if you're an older person or you're a bit self-conscious of having that boy racer look. This is clearly a foundation for much more to come. The big change here that's beautiful is the interior simplicity. This is something that Honda as a organization has done great well into the 70s, 80s, 90s, and it's back here. That is the simple use of physical controls. They haven't gone the gimmicky route like several other manufacturers of eliminating all that in favor of touch surfaces, glossy surfaces everywhere, and it's a joy to use and interact with every single day. So we're gonna do a future video with the mechanical side, the engineering, and the drivability. So look forward to that coming soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.